Welcome to the Unit 5, Part 2. So, in this lecture, we will discuss how association is going to be implemented with R programming. The last lecture, we thought about the theoretical part, what to happen, etc. So, now in this lecture, we will cover the programming part, what it is going to happen. So before we enter into this way of association, we need to check up some criteria, that is support, followed by confidence, followed by lift and leverage. So if we are familiar with these customer terms, then we will be in a position to understand this content. So I have market basket analysis. I have some item set collection. So it is called in a database or data set. So in this, we will see that how frequent the items are accessed in item set, and percentage of transactions the item is occurring. So if I'm going to have 100 transactions, in 100 transactions, how much percentage it is going to happen? So that is where the support is going to take care. So support will be extended with the minimum support. So why we are going to do was, we will say 0.4 or 0.5, etc. So we will do pruning at this point of time, that is deduction of tree items. That is what you can say unwanted items not fitting the rule will be eliminated. So this was the case why we are taking up the support. Second item was the confidence. In this confidence, we will check the likelihood of 2 or more items. We will check up 2 or more items, whether they are in the item set or not. In the item set, whether they are purchased together or not, we need to identify. So how we are going to do is, we will take the support of 2 or more items divided by that item. So that is what we are going to call it as confidence. Y should be there. So what is the chances of both X and Y are there? What will be the likelihood? We need to discuss. We call this one as a confidence. The other attribute which will come up to the association rules will be the lift. So lift sees that X and Y are independent, but still how many transactions are there? Both X and Y are observed. So X and Y are independent, but still how many transactions are going to be there? Even though they are independent, how many customers they have taken both X and Y, that is going to be observed. So when I'm going to call list from an item X to Y, will be the support of X and Y together divided by support of X into support of Y. So this is the change. And the last one, what we are going to call here as a leverage. In leverage, the formula will be quite different. That we will say that support of both X and Y minus support of X into support of Y. So what it does that it checks up the percentage of probability that both the occurrence of X and Y exist. So what is the probability or what is the chance where it's going to happen? So in this way, we have the first item support, confidence, lift, leverage. So these they are going to take up the a priori algorithm evaluation. These will be the basic primitives which will be observed in the a priori algorithm evaluation. So let us see an example which we can solve in R programming. That is, we will check for the transactions in a grocery store. To do that association in our language, first of all, we should install the packages, that is install.package dot association rules dot a rules. Similarly, we need to install the packages in order to visualize the association factors. We need to have a rules visualize. Then we need to call this into our R studio. We need to call this into our work area. Therefore, we need to include those two items as a library part. So we take up the association rules and we take up the association rule visualization. So first of all, the step was to call a package. Then the next step was to install the package. So up to now, we first of all, it is to install the package and thereby use that library packages. So that part we are done. Next thing was we need to check up the transactions in the grocery. So for that, what to take was we will have the predefined data set which is available in the R language, that is the groceries data set, and we check up data. So when we are going to call here as a data, we find 9,835 items with 9 items. So what the complete city. So we have 1,800 transactions. In that each transaction we have 169 items. So what is this called here? Now groceries data set, it is going to rows and it is going to have 169 columns. In this we have the items. In these columns we are going to have the items. So this is what the size of the grocery set is. So now we have the statistical operation what we can see here. What does this sum gives will be the what are the most frequent items. So we made it as a one item set, two item set as a discussions towards the a priori algorithm. In this, the most frequent items over 9,835 instances. Whole milk, it is 2,513 people they had milk, and yogurt. So the curd, it is of 1,372, and the items regarding vegetables, the items regarding buns and rolls, and the items of soda, etc. So all these items, they are going to be the most frequent buying pattern of the customers visiting it. So that is all given in the most frequent items. Next one, we mention of the sizes of elements. So most frequent it is 2159 and less frequent was 32. So the number of items, so 5 items, it will be 855. 12 items, most frequent items will be 117. We have 22 items which are common in all the baskets of 9834. So 3 items were common in the, what I can say is 3 items are common for 29 customers in and 25 data set. So that is what is the takeaway summary. In at least 3 items means, so we can say that there are 29 customers who has taken up the 3, who has taken up, sorry, there we have were taken up by customers commonly, but we can see that 10299 customers or transaction ID, they are 3 items more commonly. So that is what we are going to get the inference. Fine. Now, what will be the elements towards the transaction databases? So first of all, we can use the command called as a class. So the labels, how is the composition of the data set? So everything it is going to bring up into picture. So we call it as a class, and it says that it is using the association rules and the package, etc. Now the transaction class, what we mentioned here, first of all, it is going to give the transaction information. So it gives the length of number of items here. Next thing was item information. So labels we have. So this is the heading, the column here with the labels, the column headings, what we are to preach. So those elements we are going to call it as headings, and they are going to be represented with the matrix form for the data that is in tabular form. So now I was telling we need only 1 transactions to be displayed. We need only 1 to 20 transactions. So that is why we are putting this. So groceries at the rate of items set. So what is the difference to 20? Now we are now using a apply function here. In this apply function, we are going to one or more shopping cart. So here we are going to make an apply on these 10 to 2 rows, and we apply a function, and we include the previous item information, that is the data frame to store the data labels. So whatever labels are there, we are going to holistically produce at this point of time. Now it is going to give which are going to be most frequent in the 10 to 20 columns. In the 10 to 20th columns, now, so it is whole milk and cereals, are fruits, vegetables, breads, and bottles, flour, water, dishes. And in brief, it is common. In this way, we are going to get the elements appropriate for 10 to 20th columns. Now, the main thing from the word called as calling the a priori function in the R programming. So this a priori algorithm, it is available as a rule, and it is going to identify or create the most frequent. It will execute all the iterations at once. Fine. What is we have 9856, and we can say if it is putting up 0.2 as minimum support. So minimums are going to give a threshold which is given as delta here. So we are going to represent with delta, that is 0.2%. So 0.2, that is at least 2% of 2% of 9853. So we get 198 items should be the most frequent items to whom it is there. So when such it is going to happen, now one item set like bread, yogurt, milk, etc. Only one item which is frequent in all the transactions. So transaction 1, transaction 9853. Example, it can be milk. So milk is appearing, milk is appearing, milk is appearing. So yeah, this way to get this items are going to be frequent, single items. So single items, frequent 853 or 59. So 59 items, if they are one item set, then they are common in 9853. How we are going to specification to association algorithm. So we are using the association algorithm. That too we are going to use the a priori item set. It is going to be data frame, and a priori is going to be the algorithm or whatever we call groceries. It as a list. So list is a data structure, and then it is going to have the parameters, one minimum length, maximum length, and support. What it is going to be that get minimum 2% of entire transactions in process. And what is the thing we need to find? What we want to find. So we want to find the frequent item sets. So that is what we are going to give the target. So why we are doing this function? So we want to target, we want to identify one item set, most frequent items in groceries database or data set. So that is the agenda. That is why we are calling this function. Now we are going to get the answer here. What it is going to tell us? Yeah, it has applied a minimum value of 1 and it got this support was true, minimum support was 0.2, minimum length was 1 and confidence intervals was 8. So that means with 80% confidence, we can say one item set are available in groceries data set and are most frequent items, and they are the most frequent items. You can tell it up to here. So what will be the support value? Support is equals to percentage of item occurrence in the entire data set. So it is varying one item set, it is going to varying from minimum value to the maximum value. So that is what we are going to get. Minimum value, it is occurring to the maximum value. How we got? So this is, we call it as summary. So it holistically gives what is happening inside the things. So because minimum set is 0.2, we were able to enable the interesting rules to the minimum support. So obviously, most frequent items, you can see here, it is ham, it is meat, it is chicken, it is sausage. So in this way, there are other items which are going to be most frequent items. So 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. So 59 items are most frequent, and these are called as one item set. So for this, we get a median value, we get a mean value, we got the inter quantile. So we get this as IQ1, this is IQ1, IQ3, that we are going to have this in box plot. So there we get this, the IQ1 and IQ3, and build with this median. So what we have done, confidence was 100%, support was 2%, 9835 is size of data set. So all this is name of data set. So this is all what the R language is going to produce when applied with the a priori algorithm. Now head, it will display first 6 records or transactions, and inspect, so we are going to use to have this inspect, it is looks, so it will, I can say, look or identify the function items. What is the function item? It is going to have head of item sets, and I need with the support, that is percentage of frequent occurrence of item set in the database. So that too I need bring top 10 elements. We need to bring top 10 elements. So that too we have to put it in ascending order. We have to put these items in ascending order. So we are going to have this inspect, and we are going to have this head and sorting order, and we are going to use the item sets, and by what criteria we are going to do, we are going to do the criteria with the support. And how many items we need? We need 10 items. So all those, they are going to be brought up into this inspect function. So whole milk is occurred in 25% of data transactions, vegetables in 19%, rolls, buns, etc. in 18%, soda alone, it is frequent in 17%, yogurt, again it is in 13.9%, and bottled water, so people are going to purchase 11% of how many instances? 9,835 instances, we get these values. That is percentage of frequent occurrence of item sets. We are going to get the definition here. Now, let us see the value. It is improved to 0.2. What was the earlier discussion? The earlier discussion was we made support as 0.2 and minimum length was 1, and maximum length is also going to be 1. Why? Because we want to identify one item set. Now, what will happen if we are going to bring two item sets? What will happen? Now we want two most frequent item sets. Two items. So example, it can be milk and vegetables, or milk and bun, or I can say water and milk. So two items. So we call these as two item sets. And these two item sets we need more frequent. So whole wheat and soda, or whole milk and soda. So now we need to have two candidate items, and it is telling that 61 are going to be the most frequent items if we combine two elements. So that is what the rule is going to tell. So what this support was telling was, it says that it is going to tell that 0.2, that is 2%, it is with the minimum, and maximum was 7% of 9,835. So 2% support, that is, what is support again? Percentage of items, how frequent they occur in entire item sets. So that is what we are going to call here definition part. So percentage of two items, so how much percentage and how frequent they occur in the item sets. So confidence x and y divided by x. So support of x and y divided by support of x. So confidence interval is 1. We call it as 100%. We get this 100%. This is 2%. We are going to get this as a support. So this is the formula for confidence. So 100%, we got the confidence. So we got the value as 1 here. Next one. We have minimum value as 0.2, maximum value as 0.7, and among these items, so we have 61 items. So in 61 items, minimum is this one, maximum is this one. In 61 items, mean is this 0.2. In 61 items, median is 0.2951. So what is this most frequent items telling? Most of the combinations, 25 and 17, 9 soda and others, what we can say that yogurt and buns. So it is two frequent item set, or I can say yogurt and vegetables, yogurt and soda, yogurt and milk. So in this way we get 61 most frequent items are going to be available. So now you can see the transaction behavior, what it was stating. So top 10 most too frequent items we are going to display. That is vegetables and milk, milk and buns, bread and yogurt, vegetable and milk. So these are going to be the top 10 items. So how we are going to call? We are going to call this one with a function. We take the head and we want top 10 elements to be displayed. We want top 10 elements to be displayed. So that is why we give. But if we can give 5, we get top 5. So that is what we are going to assign this value. So what is this conclusion? This says that in the entire 9,835 transactions, 0.38 implies 3.8% of people are buying both buns or soda. This is the rule. This is the rule. So people who buy buns purchase soda. So I can say support is equals to 0.38, confidence is equals to 1. So that is what we are going to say at this point of time, x to y. So x, it is LHS, y, it is RHS. So people who buy buns will also buy the soda, who are going to buy the together items. So that is what we are going to put as a scenario here. Next one. We concluded this 2 item set. Now we are going to see 3 item sets. That is what we are going to specify. So we prune the a priori tree that at least the transactions must fit 0.2 minimum support. That is the rules. That is the rules must satisfy at least 2% in the 9,835 instances. So that is what we are going to call. So now you can see that the confidence interval we are going to get it is 0.8. That is 80% confidence we are going to get. Minimum was this 0.1, maximum was 100%, and support it is 2, and we are working with 3 item set, the 2 most frequent items we are going to get. So what are these most frequent items? So example, I can see people in 9,835 database rows. In common, vegetables, milk, yogurt are purchase 0.222 implies 2.2% of people. 2.2% of people, 2.2% of people are buying 3 items, in common. What are those 3 items? Vegetables, milks and yogurt. So they are going to purchase in 3 items. How did you get? I got this with support. What is support? Percentage of most frequent occurrence of items in database. That is what we are going to call. So we were talking about support, we were talking about confidence, and we got these items here. Next. Similarly, we can iterate to 4. This model, we can increase the support, or the way the data scientist looks in that model, he needs to get the frequent items. Fine. Now coming to the general rule generalization and visualization. Now we have applied this a priori algorithm and we have generated the rules. What are rules? What are the rules? Rule is that people who buy vegetables will also buy milk. People who buy other vegetables will buy milk and also will buy yogurt. So these are the different rules. How many rules there? If I take 2 item set, I got 61 rules. If I got 4 item sets, if I am going to item sets, so how many are there? So in this way, we are going to generate the set of items. So if we click on summary here, we will get 61 item sets are going to be common. So in this way, in the entire data set, when it is 2, how many are there? 3, how many are there? How we can get is we can write summary of the data at the set, then we are going to get those numbers. Fine. Now we can assume the minimum support is now set to the 0.001, that is 1%, and the confidence interval threshold is set to 60%. So 60% here. What is confidence? Confidence is equals to support of x and y divided by support of x. So in data set, together x and y are how many transactions are there. So we get this confidence, and we have to consider at least 60% must be there. If it is 60% there, then only we are going to give the eligibility, right? I am going to say I have a subject called as C programming. Pass mark is 40%. Now what I can say, 100% pass, 90% pass, 50% pass, 40% pass, 39% fail, 12% fail. So what is this? We are going to say the confidence interval should have some strategy. So it should be at least to meet. This is called the eligibility. We are going to see the eligibility. So in C programming subject, pass mark is 40. I give you all them as pass. But 12%, 39%, we call them as fail because they are not meeting eligibility. The same for confidence also. The same for the confidence. 60% of item set must hold. So that is why we are going to give the confidence as a 60%. So 60% in the entire item set, the databases are seeing that we have confidence meeting the rules. Yeah, only those we are going to consider. Rest of the thing we are ignoring. Now, in 9,835 rows, we have 2,918 rules. Now, in the entire database, now we are going to have 9,835. We get 2,918 rules when support is 1%, confidence is 60%. When support is 1% and confidence is 60%. Can we take it? It is up to the decision of the data scientist, whether to increase support, whether to increase the confidence. It is up to the knowledge level or a domain expert decision, whether to increase support, whether to decrease support, whether to increase confidence, whether to decrease confidence. So to get a better optimized value, we interchange the values and see the appropriate rules to occur and identify the most frequent items. So for that, we are going to use this to assigned values. Fine. Now, we got support, then we got this confidence, and then we are talking about lift. What is lift? X comma Y are independent. X comma Y are independent, but we will get support of X and Y divided by support of X into support of Y. We call this formula as lift. What is confidence? We get confidence as support of X and Y divided by support of X. What is support? Percentage of frequent items in dataset. Percentage of occurrence. We can say occurrence percentage of frequent items in the database. We are going to see how frequent they are going to occur. We get this support. So when we are going to put this confidence, now we are getting support of two most frequent items divided by this. And X and Y, they are independent, but still are they available? They are available with minimum value of 2% to a maximum value of 18%. They are going to meet. So again, we have X to Y in left hand sizes and R hand in the left hand side and the right hand side. That is, if X observed, Y must be observed. That is, if then Y milk is purchased. So this is the rule. This is the rule. So how the sizes we are going to give LHS plus RHS, we are defining that sizes there. So in this model, we will be able to visualize the data. Now, to do this aspect, we already told that we generated a set of 2,918 rules. So in this set of 2,918 rules, in the y-axis, we plot confidence. In the x-axis, we plot the support, and lift, it is color coded. So lift value is going to be, and now see the illustrations. What is this illustration? When support is equals to 0.002, when support is equals to 0.002, at confidence interval is equals to 60%, most frequent items are observed, isn't it not? What is this telling? When support is equals to 100%, that is 1. When support is equals to 100%, and confidence is 0.65%, then only one rule comes. Then dark color has high lift value, light color dot has low lift value. Lift, it checks X and Y are independent, but together are they purchased by customers. So we get this lift, that is support of X and Y divided by support of X into support of Y. So we get this value. So the scatter plot, this item we call here as a scatter plot. In this we are going to give 2,918 rules, and the higher lift value occurs at lower support and lower confidence. So 1, 2. So these items we are going to say and this. What are these telling up? These are pulling up the support is equals to 0.02. So these two are fitting lift. Support is equals to 0.002, and again I can say lift values, support is equals to 0.002. So that is the statement we are going to get. Higher lift values they are going to have at a lower support and low confidence. Plot has a way most frequent items where they are going to occur. In this model, we are going to generate the graph. Next one. There is another scatter plot to obey this. This axis is lift, y-axis is support. To this, x-axis is confidence, y-axis is support. So in this model, we are going to generate, and to this x-axis is confidence, y-axis is support. So how exactly we are going to put this things? So we got a lot of graphs here, but x-axis is not given, y-axis is not given. Is there any ambiguity? No, it is no such of that content. So this is a diagonal part, and we can't say this is confidence versus confidence. So it will be a straight line. Support versus support, it will be a straight line. And lift, x-axis, lift, y-axis, we can't put the same dimension at both the ways. So that was the difference here. So now there's what we need to look at it now. At the support 6 and support 8, at lower support 6, 7, 8, we have many rules. It is justified with confidence. How much is the confidence? So this is the tab, right? So with confidence between 2 to 5%. So this is the way we have to analyze the graph. So another thing, lift is going to be proportional to confidence. So another implication it was telling was lift is going to be proportional to the confidence towards the linear. So how we are going to get the lift? We are going to say lift is support with the lift height value. So we apply those items here, and again we are going to apply this lift, that is we assign a value called as a slope here. We assign a value called as a slope, and we take up the lift and confidence. So lift and another rule we are going to take up will be the confidence, and we need minimum item set as 2 here, and thereby we are going to apply it. So display the number of times at each slope appears in the database. So we will compute 1 by support of that is of y, the independent item y. So we want top 10 items. So we have the higher lift, we are going to have these instances. So what was it telling? So instant foods and soda, people who purchase are purchasing hamburger meat. People who are going to purchase soda and popcorn, they are going to purchase salt and snakes. So people who purchase instant food and soda are purchasing hamburger meet. How did you got this? We got with high lift value, that is around 19% of transactions are telling. 19% of transactions are telling that people who are purchasing soda and fast food, they will definitely buy meat. The definiteness is 19%, 18.99. I am rounding it to 19. So this is top 1 rule, top 2 rule, top 3 rule. So here lift is maximum. Lift is going to be the maximum value. So how we are going to get the lift? We get it confidence by support of y. In or it can be lift is equals to, I can say that support of x and y divided by support of x into support of y, where x and y are two independent items. So this is the original definition as per our textbooks, and of course we can even pick up this lift is equals to some confidence which is arised by x and y by x of both the support divided by the another value. More or less it is going to be the same, because this part, it is nothing but confidence by y. So that is the formula what we have at this point of time. Next, when the confidence was 90% true, I need to get a definite rules which is observed 90%, means there are 127. So out of 9805 database instances, we have 127 rules which will definitely occur. I am saying with 90% confidence. %, and above. What is confidence? Support of x and y divided by support of x. So using this formula, I am going to tell. So 90% and above, we are going to tell. Now, how many rules occurred? We will print the number of rules. We will print number of rules are going to be some 127. So we take up rules, that is a function. We will identify the rules, and which is having a quantity confidence of 90%, we are going to bring it. Now this is called as matrix plot. We are going to have this one as a matrix plot, and matrix plot is going to be taken up with the plot function. We are going to visualize it with the plot function, the same confidence rules. The plot type is matrix. The plot type is going to be the matrix, and the measure what we are going to take up will be the lift, So x to y. X we call it as left hand side, y we call it as right hand side. Left hand side we call it as antecedent, Right hand side, we call it as consequent. Example, if milk is purchased, then bread is purchased. If milk is then bread is purchased. If milk is purchased, I call it as X. If bread is purchased, I call it as Y. In this model, how many rules are there? In this model, how many rules are there? So I can say here, this is the maximum in LHS. We have 120, 100 to 120 items, means in RHS, frequent items are 5. Okay, so this is what we are going to tell. So the color is going to state, so we can identify the color. What is this color telling? In the max of most frequent items on the right hand side are 5. In the left hand side, I get some 120 items. In the right hand side, I am going to get only 5 items. In this model, we are going to give a relationship between X to Y. And that is what we put this in an item for the graph. So the graph I am repeating. In the left hand side, in LHS, frequent items are 100 to 120, means RHS has 5 free items. If milk is purchased, bread is purchased. I taken one left hand side, I taken one right hand side. But X is going to be set of 100 to 120. Y is going to be set of 5. That is the model what we are going to give this in a plot of matrix. After that, we were telling what there are consequent are going to be 5, isn't it? We mentioned that consequent are going to be 5. So what can be those? For example, so made consequent RHS is equals to 5. What are those 5? Fruits, vegetables, bread, yogurt, butter. Then the value was 5. Okay, so the consequent we are going to pull up with the lift value. We are going to pull up with the lift value. So here lift is equals to 4, then what we are going to tell? I can say butter, sour ice cream, 4. Then lift is equals to 3, soda, meat and instant foods. Again, in this model, we are going to visualize the top 5 rules sorted by lift. The top 5 rules which are going to be sorted by the lift. So people who are going to buy hamburger and processed cheese will buy bread. People who purchase popcorn, people who purchase soda will buy salt snacks. People who purchase soda, people who purchase instant food will purchase hamburger. These are the rules. So how I am telling? I am telling with a lift value, and I am telling with a support of 1% and between 1% to 2% support, that is most frequent occurrence, we are going to get that value. So we talked about graphs, how they are going to be illustrated with the most frequent items. Next thing was, we do have the validation and testing. So how we are going to validate and how we are going to test whether the a priori is going to work or not. We verify with confidence, we verify with lift, we verify with the leverage. Again, what is leverage? Leverage is the occurrence independent items. The occurrence probability of two independents, the percentage of occurrence probability of two and x comma y. So how we will be writing it is, leverage will be the support of two independent items minus support of first set of item into support of second set of independent item. So we get a formula with this. If it is high, then the independence is high. If it is low, the relative independence between these two is low. So that is how the leverage is going to be calculated to the frequent items. So the definition part, confidence is a measure that x and y appear together in a relation that changes x, and it is used to find the interestingness of the rules. Lift and leverage, they are going to compare the support of both and x and y against the support. So in general, if 95% of customers, they are buying x 95% product, then together x and y, they will be 85% chances are there. But there is no relation, because I was telling in the lift rule, that is people who are going to purchase, was lift rule was people who purchase instant food and soda will purchase ham, meat, burger. So burger is independent, right? Burger is independent. Soda is independent. Instant fast food is independent. There is no relationship. Out of fancy, people will purchase fast food and soda, and they are purchasing the burger, isn't it not? So making fast food is one set of entity, making hamburger is one set of meat, hamburger is one set of entity, soda is one set of entity. But still people are together purchasing these two independent items. So how much percentage it is, we need to calculate. Whether these two are commonly purchased or not, whether people are making that combination as a good combination, means, yeah, it is calculated with lift and it is calculated with the leverage. So whether they are doing it or not, how we can tell means with the definition parts towards lift and leverage, it is going to be taken up. So the diagnosis part was a priori algorithm. It is easy and it can be implemented very easily, and it is going to generate some rules. But still, I am going to say minimum support is equals to 0.2, implies 2%. What it means? It means that some item sets are not even meeting or not even meeting 2% of score. Therefore, we can remove from analysis. So that is what we call it as uninteresting. That's part we will say it is pruning. We call that one as a pruning here. So I will tell that the eligibility criteria for the subject to pass is 40%. So I will eliminate the record students who are not getting 40%. So because I put one specific rule, the minimum support is 40%. Who gets above 40? I can say again, student is getting 90 above, I call her a topper. Student is getting 80%, I gave her some another grade. Student is getting some 40%, I mean 40 to 60%, I call it as average or below average. So first it is meeting one set of content, then we are bifurcating it into different. Eligibility was 40%. So minimum support I am going to tell. Then in the marks scored by the students, then I will say this girl is topper, this girl is average girl, this girl is above average. How I am going to tell? I put 60%, 80%, 90%, 70%. And I put that above studying student who get 90% is a topper. There my confidence level is 0.9%. I say this girl is an average girl. Then I put a confidence interval as 0.8. So in this way, we are going to have a association, have a confidence with the terms support and confidence. So even though there is no relationship between X and Y, but still there will be some relationship between two variables. I just mentioned people purchasing soda, people purchasing instant foods, they are purchasing ham meat burgers. So, but there is no relationship among them, but still that is going on. So in order to know that insights, it is true or not, we need to address it with confidence, lift, and leverage and items. So all together, the a priori algorithm, it should have minimum support. Then only it can be diagnosed as an outcome or an insight to the specific business domain. Now there are some challenges where the a priori algorithm need to be improved. First challenge was to divide this entire transaction database into some multiple partitions and thereby do it independently. So it is more or less like a modular programming. So each module can be addressed and taken up. Second thing is from the entire population, we take a subset, we apply the rules for the subset, and thereby we will apply it to the entire data. So that is another approach. We call it as sampling. Third thing was we have around 169 columns in the 9,835 database. So why to have analysis on all the columns? Are they relevant or are they useful? Remove the unnecessary columns. Therefore, we will reduce the size of the database that we call in the pre-processing as dimension reduction. So using the dimension reduction techniques like principal component analysis, etc., or dimension reduction base, we will prune the items. So that is what we call here as a transaction reduction. And instead of using the conventional way of mapping, it can be improved to a hash-based content for even the fast access to count the items. We are just using the a priori algorithm and we meant count of level I plus 1 is equal to count of I plus 1. So we are generally writing this in a logical, in a very arithmetic way. That too, we are using if loop and a while loop, and there we are incrementing the operators. Instead of that, to have a fast speed access, we can go with the hash-based searching. Addition of the candidate sets instantly while running the algorithm, it will be improved by having the dynamic item set counting. So we are feeding the key sets, that is K is going to be given up one item set or two item set. It is going to be supplied by the domain expert, the data scientist or a data analyst. But instead of manually interpreting this, can't we take up dynamically and give the value without any human intervention? So that takes up with the dynamic outset counting. So these are some of the issues where the a priori algorithm can be improved. And one more notation was that a priori algorithm, it is going to be a supervised, it is going to be some unsupervised technique. The reason was that we don't know the labels, we don't know the, I mean, what items to be grouped is falling into the bucket unsupervised learning called as a clustering. And of course, we do this analysis to market basket analysis or clickstream analysis or recommendation engines. So we had enough discussion in the previous lecture about what is market basket analysis, what is clickstream analysis, and what are recommendation engines. You can refer to it. And this way, the association can have their impending applications. And altogether, why we are going to use this association rules was to predict the outcomes and behavior for interesting patterns and interesting relationships among the items in the larger database. So that is all for this R programming implementation of the association rules with the association algorithm. Thank you.